This is Jeff Mucci, Group Publisher for RCR Wireless. We're at CTIA, and today we're meeting with Beceem. Lars, Johnsson, it's great to see you again.
Thank you. Very nice to be here, Jeff.
Beceem is moving from a market leader in WiMAX into LTE. Can you talk a little bit about some of the announcements and some of the moves that you've made to become a leader in the 4G world as well?
Yes. So what Beceem has done is we've built our business and our products previously in 4G WiMAX. And we've been very successful to the extent that all the devices that Clearwire and Sprint are using in North America use exclusively Beceem. We have many other customers and about 65% market share. That has given us a lot of credibility in executing on 4G OFDMA, which is the underlying technology being used both in WiMAX and LTE. And earlier this year in Barcelona at the Mobile World Congress, we did announce our first and the industry's first dual mode product that supports 4G WiMAX, 16E, as well as release 8 LTE. And in LTE, both TDD and FDD support, so that you now have, if you wish, a tri-mode 4G product. TDD WiMAX, TDD LTE, and FDD LTE. The good feedback we have gotten is based on the fact that 4G network coverage will be small for a long time to come in comparison to 2G, 3G.
Right.
And I think there's a recognition in the industry that being able to combine the existing footprints and have roaming capabilities and possibly MVNO partnerships is a good way to grow your footprint and have your service offering be more attractive to the end users if you think about this from the service provider perspective. So that's where we come in, and that's where we got a lot of good feedback from service providers.
Who are going to be your major competitors as you look at the 4G LTE device marketplace?
So we believe that Qualcomm will extend its market leadership from the 3G space and be very successful in 4G, partially because they do 3G so well, and as I was just talking about coverage and multi-mode, there's also a 3G aspect in that, and Qualcomm has a roadmap with 4G LTE and various flavors of 3G supported. So I think they're the anticipated leader. They have yet to come out with their products and prove their performance. Our opportunity is around Qualcomm, if you wish, on the fringes. But we believe those are very attractive fringes. And as I mentioned earlier, the ability to support WiMAX as well, which is something that Qualcomm is not doing, it gives our customers and certain operators a unique value proposition by having that footprint. And if you stay with all the speculations and rumors for a second, more talk about T-Mobile being an MVNO maybe on the Clearwire network. Everybody knows T-Mobile in Europe and longer term would want to deploy LTE. So a T-Mobile would be very drawn to having products that do WiMAX and LTE, can address their immediate competitive needs in North America, 4G WiMAX MVNO on Clearwire, and allows them to harmonize and take advantage of the LTE footprint that the mothership may build out in Europe. And that is something that is unique to us that we think plays well.
What other differentiators does Beceem see in those outlying areas to working around Qualcomm? What are some of the ways that Beceem is going to differentiate themselves?
So we have built our entire company and credibility on the fact that we have the best performing 4G product. We have this previously mentioned market share, the 65%, only because we outcompete. We have survived numerous bake-offs. Every time there's a design up for grasp, we are compared to other solutions. We typically have higher throughput, lower power consumption, and can offer that in very competitive packages. And as a small company, you need to be better, and as a small company, also quick. So typically, we were first to market in bringing out new innovations. We had the first single chip in 65 nanometers that has given us a very good cost basis to be aggressive in pricing. and we're now the first out with WiMAX LTE. And we have done a lot of work in our existing product lines to support 4G, 3G handoff, to support 4G, WiMAX, Bluetooth coexistence, to the point where we have something that we call the smartphone toolkit that we also announced at the show, where we can work with OEMs and take care of all their connectivity needs as they relate to 4G. We can make sure it hands off nicely and you have session continuity to 3G if the device goes out of coverage, out of 4G coverage. We can allow you to have Wi-Fi run simultaneously. You can have voice calls using Bluetooth without interfering with 4G. There's a lot of know-how from multiple product generations that we build up. Our chips, for example, are in the Sprint Overdrive, which is a Wi-Fi hotspot that uses 4G connectivity to the network and has a 3G option. So you have our 4G next to Qualcomm EVDO, and we have numerous products similar to that gives us this expertise.
Where, in your opinion, where does Wi-Fi fit in the context of WiMAX, LTE, 2G? Where does Wi-Fi fit in?
I think Wi-Fi is a complementary technology. It's not competitive with wide area technologies because they are meeting different needs. The wide area technology is to give you a single subscription that allows you to be anywhere, not to worry, turn on a device, press the talk button, make a call. Wi-Fi is local area connectivity that if you have it at home, you would want to utilize. It gives you very good speeds at short distance in the home or in the office. And then you can offload the cellular networks, the wide area networks that are 4G, 3G, and I think those are great complements. They don't compete. Wi-Fi is not attempting to preempt the need of 4G. It can't do that. It's a good complement to put capacity on the network that can best serve it.
And from a user standpoint, the handoffs take place really at the application layer today through some sort of communication manager. Do you see at some point some of that being baked onto a chip, so you effectively have 4-mode chips, and where does Beceem play in that process?
That's clearly something that you could do. We don't believe right now it's a good idea from the silicon integration perspective. And the main reason is that you can buy single chips Wi-Fi that include the PA for $2, $2.50, very small, very power efficient, produced at high volumes. If you integrate Wi-Fi into the 4G silicon, you cannot include the PA because the output power in CMOS would then cause interference to 4G. So you would still need something outside the chip, and you have not gained anything. You've made your life more complicated. In integrating this way, you can spend $2 extra and put it right next to it. So we haven't seen any customer that saw the need, and we don't believe near term that makes sense. Even the Wi-Fi platforms for laptops are 2-chip solutions today.
In our next special edition, RCR is going to focus on chips and devices. Could you maybe spend a minute walking through the sales process for a chip company? Are you calling on the operators? You're calling on the OEMs, the ODAs? Maybe just give us a high-level view of selling chips in today's market.
Yeah. From our experience in 4G, it is very important for a silicon and technology provider like Beceem to have direct relationships with service providers. This is the only way for us to understand their requirements and their roadmaps that we need to build to, so our chips can integrate the functionality that meet their needs. We don't sell to service providers. We promote our capabilities and we prove it and we help make devices work. But then we take this knowledge of what operators want and work directly with our customers. OEMs, a couple of our publicly announced customers, Motorola, Huawei, ZTE, Sierra Wireless, Novatel, use our silicon, and to them we sell the silicon plus a reference design. The reference design is the recipe of how to use our chip, what other things to put next to it, and how to connect it all to get a working 4G modem without having to worry about it. And the same we do with ODMs, many of which are residing in Taiwan and China. We have a large number of ODM customers, Quanta, Gemtech, Foxconn, and now I'm forgetting some and they'll be unhappy, but and the sales process is very similar. They get from us the reference design and the recipe. They build very high quality product at very affordable price points, and then typically a company comes and puts their brand name on and resells this product as theirs as a retail relationship into Clearwire maybe, or in the Japan network.
Okay. Well, Lars, thanks for joining us today. We look forward to the fourth quarter launch of the BCS 500, which, to be clear, it's the single chip with WiMAX and LT, right?
That is correct, Jeff. Well, we look forward to that as well. And judging on early interest, this should be a good part, and we'll have a lot of fun in the 4G space with that.
Great. Thank you, Lars.